Ever wondered if there's a natural solution for effectively managing diabetes? Today, we've got a treat for you. Hey everyone, it's Celine, and welcome back to Heal Your Way. In our previous episodes, we've been exploring the world of homeopathy. It is a natural medicine approach that uses highly diluted substances to stimulate the body's innate healing process. So it's based on the principle of like cures like. Homeopathy suggests that substances causing symptoms in a healthy person can potentially alleviate similar symptoms in someone who is unwell. In our recent episodes, we've uncovered, first of all, what is homeopathy and how homeopathy can boost your immune system and naturally tackle hypertension. So if you missed those past episodes, don't worry, I've dropped the links in the description below. But today, we're delving in to the powerful potential of homeopathy in managing diabetes naturally. And to guide us through this fascinating topic, we have our returning special guest, our classical homeopath, Mr. Mike Romera.
Hello, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, thank you for being here and sharing your insights. So let's dive into the topic of diabetes. First of all, can you explain what are the two types of diabetes? All I know is it's related to sugar.
Yes.
Sugar, but maybe you can give me information on what are the different types of diabetes.
We have two different types, is type 1 diabetes and type 2 diabetes. Yung type 1 diabetes is yung blood sugar is sa cycle lang siya sa bloodstream and hindi siya napupunta sa receptor. While type 2 diabetes naman, ang problema is yung receptor hindi nagsasend ng signal may problema sa receptor and hindi siya nakaka-receive ng insulin na dinideliver nagdi-deliver ng blood sugar. So, yung common issue is about the receptors sa type 2 and sa type 1 is yung sender naman, like yung insulin.
Okay. So, I guess, parang ang diabetes is all about managing the sugar, but role nito sa diet and lifestyle? Paano nagkakaroon ng diabetes? Bigla lang ba nagkakaroon ng tao noon? Or
yeah. I'll explain it. So, yung lifestyle ng mga na may diabetes is mataas yung sugar. Firstly, mataas yung sugar. And yung cycle nung sugar is hindi sila na-utilize. Like for example is nag-overeating ka ng sugar for this day. The next day is hindi mo siya nag-overeating ka ng sugar and hindi mo siya na-consume today. The next day mag-create ng symptoms ng craving, which is grabe yung gutom mo the next day na hindi mo na-consume yung sugar. So yung cycle nun is paulit-ulit siyang mangyayari, but hindi pa to makakategorize as diabetes. It's just pag nakakain ka pa lang na matamis, the next day na mangyayari is grabe yung gutom mo. So ang gagawin niya is papakainin ka niya ng madami, and then ang susunod doon is may mga food na nagre-redirect ng type 1 diabetes ng sugar into type 1, And may mga food naman na nagko-control sa kanya which leads to type 2. Yun yung nangyayari sa kanya. And then it's all about cycle ng food na kailangan is ma-utilize siya through exercise and proper bowel movement. Kung may everyday na dumudumi yung pasyente ng regularly, it's a good sign na nakaka-control siya sa pagtaas ng sugar.
Okay. So, correct me if I'm wrong, no? Yung sugar kasi na kinakain natin, usually it's there to be transformed into energy. Diba?
Yes.
Parang yun yung isa sa mga sources ng energy ng mga tao. Ngayon, kung hindi natin magamit yung energy, pag hindi natin hindi tayo gumalaw, hindi tayo nag-exercise, tapos masyadong madami yung supply natin ng sugar, maaaring mag-cause yun ng imbalance sa katawan.
Yes, yun yung nagke-create ng symptoms na later on magpapatong-patong yung symptoms na yun and nasisira yung mismong routine sa pagkain and sa and also may behavior kasi yung sugar na kapag tapos kumain yung tao is magiging aantukin. So ganun yung nature ng sugar na
So even yung yung effect ng ng katawan natin pag pina-process ang sugar, it also causes us certain behaviors.
Nasisira talaga totally yung routine natin pagka mataas yung sugar.
Oo. So pag
it's gradually processing to. So from the first time hindi mo pa ramdam yan. Pero pag tagal-tagal, mga years or 6 months is ramdam mo na siya.
Oh, nako, dangerous pa naman yun kasi ngayon ang halos lahat ng pagkain may sugar. Mas lalo na yung junk food. Grabe yung sugar content. Yung milk tea, alam mo ba na-discover ko yung milk tea? Excessive yung over kung ano yung daily requirement ng katawan natin for sugar. Ang isang milk tea over ang sugar content niya.
Yeah.
Kaya nga nung nalaman ko yun, medyo hindi na ako masyado nag-milk tea. Grabe. Kaya masarap naman siya, pero yun lang. Pag medyo yun na nga. Hindi na maganda sa katawan. So, speaking of, you mentioned kanina na yung symptoms ng diabetes, no? Ano ba yung mga common symptoms ng diabetes?
Yung common symptoms is excessive hunger. Unang-una yan. Kasi once na hindi natin na-consume yung sugar na pinasok sa katawan natin, yung the next day na itong effect is excessive hunger. Also is yung palaging uhaw yung tao and palaging ihi ng ihi. It's dehydrating the body, yung effect ng sugar. And then meron sa homeopathy naman, sa view ng homeopathy, ang daming symptoms na pwede naming gamitin na nakikita na namin siya as excessive sugar symptoms. Like, ang first example nito is oversensitivity sa fumes or yung sensitive yung pang-amoy mo. Like, usok and something like yung pintura, amoy ng pintura is over yan na and yung isa pang is yung sa metals, like if they wear jewelry, ang nangyayari sa mga jewelry is na kumukupas, nagko-corrode sila, so parang nadidiscolor nila yung metal dahil dun sa sweat glands nila. Iba rin yung pawis ng mga mataas yung sugar. Ano pa bang mga magandang example? Like, at yung about sa yung brain processing nila is sobrang bilis. Like, yung nakikita nila yung everything na halimbawa nasa isang environment, workplace, nakikita nila na yung mga tao is very slow magtrabaho. But just because yung brain process nila sobrang bilis, ganun sila like nakikita nilang babagal magtrabaho ng tao. Yun yung mga nakikita ng homeopath na it's a possible cause or it's a possible symptoms na siya ng high sugar.
Oh, wow. Interesting pati pala yung yung pangamoy,
Yeah.
Yung sweat, yung hindi palang manifestations yung high sugar.
Yes.
Papaisip tuloy ako. Parang may mga araw yata na ganun ako. So guys, you've heard it here, yung mga symptoms. So siguro you can write a journal or siguro you can observe yourself. Diba? Kung meron kayong mga ganitong symptoms, baka gusto nyo na magpatingin and pa-check nyo na yung sugar nyo kasi baka may diabetes na kayo. It's better to resolve that earlier before it's too late. No? So for a homeopathic perspective, so let's say someone has these symptoms and na-confirm na high na nga sila sa sugar, blood sugar, and they go to you, paano ba yung approach pag may diabetes ang isang tao, pumunta sila sa isang homeopath?
This is different from the conventional remedy. So, ang kadalasan kasi kapag nasa pumunta ka ng ospital and you declare na mataas yung sugar mo and ganito, bibigyan ka lang nila ng template ng gamot, like eto na yung gamot mo, eto na. But in homeopathy is very different, like yung i-interviewin ka, like hahanapin pa kung saan yung first remedy na pinaka-fit sa'yo, and also we track down the history of disease kasi it affects dun sa present disease mo, and everything is personalized, like katulad nga na sinabi ko kaninang symptoms, all of them are high sugar, yung pero different remedy yung mga yon. So if a patient has these symptoms na sensitive yung nose, patient na yung sweat glands niya is masyadong acidic and nakaka-discolor siya ng metal, and all of those are different remedies.
So maganda pala sa homeopathy, it's individualized, it's personalized, really depends dun sa tao. Hindi siya parang generic na gamot na parang
yes,
lang to, yun, same gamot sa lahat. Hindi siya gano'n. So it's important, guys, that if you want to explore the natural way, if you want to explore homeopathic remedies, that you approach also a trained homeopath who knows what they're doing, because the remedies that they give you, it's not a one size fits all. They really create a customized remedy according to you and your exact conditions. So speaking of remedies, ano ba yung mga examples of remedies that you give to your patients?
My first I have actually two diabetic patient before. First one is type 1 and second one is type 2. So, ang first na ginamit ko is Argentum nitricum, is originally from silver nitrate, pang linis ng silver. And the main indication why I use it, kasi may sinabi siya na very exactly sa sinabi ng libro na worst when eating white rice. Yun yung pinaka-symptoms niya. And yung pagkakasabi nung pasyente is, sabi niya, there is a time na kumain daw siya ng rice, and nung tumawid siya sa tulay na may nakakita siya sa kanyang tao, ang sabi sa kanya, okay ka lang ba? Kasi mukha siyang pagod na pagod pagkatapos kumain ng rice, and that's exactly na sinasabi sa libro, yung worst after eating ng rice.
Okay, interesting. And then what else? Ano pa yung other remedies that you
Other remedies ko is I did it with Lycopodium. Lycopodium naman is lumot, club moss. So, ang indication naman ng pasyente, similar sila na worst after eating, but this one, it has symptoms ng birthing. Like, dumidigha yung pasyente ng sobrang dami. And it's 4 years na siyang ganon.
Wow.
So, every time na kakain siya ng starch, usually starch yung pinaka-cause nun. And then, yun yung symptoms niya. But the second one is much easier kumpara do sa first ko.
Yeah, interesting, no? So I am really not familiar with these ingredients kasi nga when usually go to the doctor,
hindi naman nasasabi kung ano yung pinapainom sa'yo.
It's in the form of a pill, so 'di ba? Yung main ingredients, pero it's interesting na 'di ba? Talagang iba, yung isa coming from the silver anong daw doon,
silver nitrate.
The other one lumot. So interesting. And guys, it's not we're not taking these directly, no? These are diluted substances. So, just
diluted by 200 times. So,
it's 200 times. Kaya hindi natin kinakain yung ingredient na yun talaga.
Just yung energy lang talaga ng substance yung ini-intake natin.
So, baka mamaya may kumuha dyan ng panlinits ng Okay, so now that you've shared some of the remedies, how about maybe stories of your patients? You've already mentioned these 2 patients that you've had.
Yes.
Siguro you can take us through kung ano yung case nila at gumaling ba sila?
Okay. Yung first one is 3 yung symptoms niya, like meron siyang high blood sugar and also high blood, and then yung glaucoma, yung sa mata na medyo may katarata na or may lumulo, basta may something sa mata, glaucoma yung tawag niya. And then first month ng medication niya sa homeopathic, sabi niya okay siya na ganito. Okay yung gamot na binigay ko. Then, hindi na siya nag-follow up. The next time na nag-follow up siya is nagpapasama na siya sa akin sa ospital.
Oh, wow.
So, parang yeah. So, I think wala. Okay. I think hindi ko siya ma-considered as successful kasi pupunta siya ng ospital eh. But the 1-month trial na ginawa niya sa homeopathy is successful kasi yung sa ano. But kasi yung this form of disease, naabot talaga ng 6 months yan bago 6 months na hindi naman siya nagsasuffer yung patient sa symptoms nila. It's 6 months na it's up, down, up, down. Sometimes yung symptoms babalik for attack siya like once a week. Once a week, medyo naramdaman mong nag-spike ulit yung sugar mo. But hindi na siya katulad ng before nung may sakit sila. Yung other naman na type 2 naman, smooth lang yung flow niya and I guess yung symptoms niya lang kasi is kapag napasobra sa kain siya, ang nangyayari is digay siya ng dighay and yung parang hirap huminga, yung ganon. So umabot lang yun ng I guess mga 45 days, mga 1.5 months. Then wala nang normal na yung normal na everything like blood sugar, high blood niya. So normal siya.
It's amazing.
Pero kasi itong patient ng pangalawa ay parehas silang vegetarian. Yung patient kong yan. So medyo madali silang dalawa. Compare kapag nag-meat eaters yung mga pasyente. So, mahirap yun abutin talaga ng 6 months yun.
Siguro as a patient, hindi lang dahil they take the remedy, gagaling na sila agad. Kailangan din may disiplina, diba? Kailangan din ng patience. Kasi yun nga, hindi din ganong kabilis mag-effect yung remedy kung hindi din natin sinusuportahan ng lifestyle changes.
Yeah.
Yun naman talaga yung sa lahat ng lahat ng sakit, minsan matigas na talaga yung ulo natin.
Yes.
Kahit gaano kagaling pa yung homeopath or kahit gaano kagaling pa yung doktor, it still boils down to you as a person.
Yeah. Yeah. And usually ng type 2 is ang nagtatrabaho dyan is yung pasyente mismo kasi remedy can do little lang sila. Pero yung discipline talaga ng pasyente, yun yung nag-output kung gaano kabilis yung paggaling nila.
So Micro, I'm just curious, what does the scientific community say about homeopathy and its effectiveness in treating diabetes?
Sa ibang bansa is they are contradicting sa homeopathy kasi yung homeopathy sa kanila is naka-sugar pills yung form. So it's questioning sila paano nila gagamutin yung sugar o yung diabetes if the remedy na binibigay nila is sugar din. So doon sila kumukontra. So may mga gumawa na liquid-based form sila. Originally, homeopathy is liquid-based. Pero pagdating sa mga bansa na UK, US, ginagawa nilang sugar pills para maging similar pa rin sa conventional na para silang synthetic drugs. Pero yun, ginawa nilang nilagay nila sa sugar yung homeopathy. So, yun lang yung contradicting nila. But I think it's because people are looking for alternative na methods para gamutin yung diabetes. So dumadami yung nagre-research ng iba't iba. Maraming actually platform na tumutulong sa diabetes. And there is food na and there is exercise na nagpo-promote ng for reversing the diabetes.
Pero diabetes ba is reversible?
Yes, we can do it. Pwede siyang ibalik sa flatline na normal. And then, yung issue is yung, di ba, parang hindi siya biglang bumababa. So, nababalik yan sa normal.
Oh, that's good news, no? And I think there's a lot of research na rin using homeopathy. So, there's a lot, guys, that you can check about how effective homeopathy can be, or this approach for treating and even reversing diabetes.
Yes.
So for those to our viewers interested in exploring homeopathic remedies to manage or even to cure their diabetes, Micro, what kind of advice can you give them?
Look for qualified homeopath na at least merong background sa type 1 and type 2 diabetes. So, mas familiarize sila sa pasyente nila. Kasi even though qualified homeopath ka, if you don't have experience sa type 1 and type 2, mahirapan sila.
Okay. And can homeopathy be used alongside conventional treatments? Because you mentioned kanina yung client mo dun sa type 1, parang diniscontinue na niya.
Yes.
Treatment. So paano yun pag ganun?
Originally, pagka naka-maintenance sila, ang kailangan nilang gawin is ituloy yung maintenance alongside with the homeopathy. Then kapag ka na-reach na yung flatline na normal na sugar, pwede na nilang bawasan yung paunti-unti yung maintenance nila.
Oo, and of course that's upon advice of their doctor. Oo. So, it's advisable na malaman ng doctor na nag-homeopathic treatments din ang pasyente nila.
Okay lang. Pero sasabihin ng doktor na hindi yan gumagana. May mga ganyang cases sa kami na shinare niya sa doktor niya na nag-homeopathy siya. And ayun. Sabi ng doktor, hindi yan gumagana. So, okay.
Yeah, I guess guys, when you're trying a different approach, especially homeopathic approach, it's good that you're telling your doctor, but I don't think it hurts to try. Diba? Especially if you really want to be well, if you really want to be cured, diba? Gusto mo rin ma-explore lahat ng options. And yung hindi naman sinasabi ng homeopathy na itigil yung gamot. Ang sinasabi nila, i-continue mo, pero i-continue mo rin yung homeopathic remedies para mas effective yung paggaling mo. Ayun. So, sayang kasi 'di ba, kung sinimulan mo na yung yung homeopathic way, sayang naman na hindi mo siya tuloy until the end. Diba? So, because the goal din naman is to let your body heal on its own naturally. And that's why we're even looking at homeopathy, because we want to bring our bodies back to our original state, to our healthy state, and our bodies can heal naturally on its own. So, So, anyway, okay. My next question. So, okay, let's say the patient is good patient. They follow your treatment till the end. How about mga lifestyle changes? And meron bang mga pwedeng gawin?
Yes. Actually, it's mas maraming responsibilities yung patient na may diabetes. compare dun sa mismong nag-guide sa compare sa homeopath nila. Kasi type 2 diabetes is yung symptoms nila is more on starch. Like ang symptoms nila is over sa starch, white food. Yun yung mga restriction ng type 2 diabetes. And also required din sila ng physical movement. Kailangan nila ng exercise, ng ano. And sa type 1 naman is straightforward na sugar yung cause and sugar lang yung mismong restriction. So, pero mas mahirap kasi yung craving ng type 1 diabetes sa sugar. Like, it's very intense na tumatakas sila, umaalis sila ng bahay para lang kumain ng matamis or uminom ng soft drinks na ganun ka-intense yung type 1 na diabetes. Kapag kinat off bigla yung sugar, ganun sila na para silang hindi mabubuhay kapag hindi nakakain ng matamis. Ganun yung sensation ng patient. So yung type 2 is about starch naman yan na And also yung nabanggit ko nga kanina is milk tea, creamer ng mga drinks is also nag-a-account din pagdating sa type 2.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
But maski yung, di ba, yung uso ngayon yung coffee na strong coffee with much creamer.
Oo.
Ayun, the creamer is very impactful pagdating sa type 2 diabetes.
Oh, I see. So, ano pala, no? Yun nga, sugar is very tricky kasi masarap siya. Diba? And then especially when you're high on sugar, it makes you feel good, diba? May siya gano'n, or even yung brain, kanina na mention mo na
hyper.
You feel like you can do a lot of things, diba? Marami kang energy, which yun naman talaga yung purpose ng sugar, to give us energy. Pero pag nasobrahan, medyo parang it's addicting, diba?
Yeah.
Nakaka-addict. So parang if you're deprived, especially yung body natin na sanay na sa na nagko-consume ng excessive amounts of sugar, we tend to crave it and we feel like we can't live without it. And
yes.
Yun ang mahirap na part na, kasi our bodies, sometimes ang body natin, it's very biological na parang we also, di ba, pag meron tayong mga behaviors, tendencies, feeling natin, kailangan natin, di ba? So, I think being really educated about ano ba yung effect ng mga kinakain natin, like, yun nga, especially in this case, we're talking about diabetes, sugar, how it really affects us in many ways. Sometimes good, but also sometimes bad. So having an awareness of its effects, I think helps us to navigate our own bodies, and important din na meron din tayong strong willpower na na hindi natin masyadong i-oblige ang mga cravings natin. Diba? A little bit is okay, but too much is too much. Yun. So, mayroon bang mga foods that you recommend to help at least dun sa mga nagka-cravings ng sugar? Meron bang mga pagkain na pwede nilang kainin? At least para lang kahit paano mawala or mabawasan yung mga cravings.
Actually, kasi yung diabetes or pag tumaas na yung sugar, ang nagdo-domain na sa food taste na gusto mo is yung sugar mismo. So, if it asking for sugar, yung sugar talaga na ano yung parang walang magawa yung katawan. It's sinusunod talaga siya ng ano. Sometimes may mga people ako nakikilala like meron silang baon na bottled water with sugar. So to reverse na mawala man lang yung craving nila sa sugar is yung mga mapait na food is ampalaya is number 1 and anything greens, mustasa is very good din. So yun yung food na just to minimize yung craving sa sweets. Sila yung mga nakakabawas. Sa type 2 diabetes is hindi naman yung sugar yung gusto nila. Ang nangyayari is yung mga creamy white food, cheese, yun yung craving nila. And yun na yung ano niya, and it also nakukuha rin siya, nababawasan rin yan kapag plant-based diet ka na, like pure veggies na yung diet, mababawasan na yung craving mo dyan sa mga cheese and high starch na food.
Yung mga leafy vegetables, diba, you mentioned even it's good for hypertension, diba, it's also good for diabetes. Gaano kadami ba ang appropriate amount ng intake ng green leafy vegetables?
At least kapag wala ka pa namang symptoms, at least mga overall diet mo, lagyan mo lahat ng meal mo ng vegetables, like iba yung nirekado mo siya sa halimbawa this is meaty na pagkain, nilagyan mo siya ng gulay, you don't count it. The way you eat yung leafy vegetables is separate mo siya na hindi siya hinalo sa so it's like you have salad ng vegetables and you add it every meal mo na and I think ang ratio niya is pag walang symptoms is mga 40% ng overall na kinain mo for the whole day. So at least may 40% kang gulay sa everyday.
Okay. So when you say hindi siya hinahalo, ano yung magandang pagluto?
Yung
mga ibang gulay
tawag doon, like
lutuin.
Yeah, yung pinaka sa kanya is yung binoiled, then sinala lang sila, then lalagyan sila ng mga fresh tomatoes, onions, mga like lalagyan pa sila ng fresh na basta you boil the veggies first na saka mo sila hahanguin sa sa mainit na tubig kasi sila na pagka na-overcook, nababawasan yung enzymes nila.
So parang
usually blanch yan nga exact.
Blanch. Okay. How about pag ginigisa? Effective ba yun? Or kasi syempre may mga ibang tao ayaw nila ng walang sarsa or ano ba yung meron bang mga approved na sarsa na pwedeng ilagay, ihalo?
Pwede mo siyang i-sarsa, but yung sarsang gagamitin mo is made from raw material then. Wag yung like for example is you want na sarsa niya is
vinegar, pwede ba yun? Like
yeah. Yung
bread, yun yung may olive oil and vinegar.
Yeah, okay yung ganun.
Oh. Okay. Pero pag pag kunyari ginisa mo sa garlic, onion, does that lessen the quality?
No, it's normal pa din siya na
Pwede pa rin.
Basta ang objective ng gulay kapag niluto, hindi sila masyadong lutong-luto. except root crops yung mga root crops kasi kapag hilaw yan, toxic yan. So kailangan yung mga green leafy vegetables, medyo parang nadaanan lang sila ng apoy na half cook. Yun ang
Okay. Good tips. Kasi hindi ako masyadong mahilig magluto, pero yun nga, I'm really learning a lot from our conversation because I also want to, try to be more healthy, diba? I want to be healthy and I also want to be holistic in my approach. Ayoko masyadong umaasa sa mga gamot and all. Gusto ko talagang yung natural way ng pag-heal or just to be healthy, yung natural na healthy. And yun. So very interesting tips kasi alam ko you also cook, kaya gusto ko yung matuto from your culinary skills. Kaya maganda rin mga siguro that can be a next topic for us if ever we can talk about
sure
vegetarian meals and food, diba? And how different ways we can incorporate natural food in our diet para mas exciting, masarap, and yun nga, mas healthy at the end of the day. That's really our goal, to healthy, to live a quality life. So thank you so much, Micro, for your time, your expertise, for being here with us and for sharing with us your insights on, of course, the homeopathic approach to diabetes. It's really been enlightening for me, and I'm sure our viewers as well. Guys, if you want to reach out to Micro, if you want to talk to him and get a consultation, I will leave his contact information in the description box below. I highly recommend him. Obviously, he's really great, and I'm sure he'll be able to help you. Thanks, Micro.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure to share my information about homeopathy and to share things about high blood sugar. Thank you.
Diabetes and also about homeopathy. We've gone through a lot. Thank you. It's been a joy, and of course also a joy to get to know you better. And so there you have it, everybody. So we've delved into the captivating realm of homeopathy with Micro, discussing the natural approach to managing diabetes. So to our viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. If you found this video valuable, remember to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe to Heal Your Way for more holistic wellness tips and interviews with experts. This has been your host, Celine, and I will see you again next time. Bye!